What's up everyone, Savalian here, and I am bringing you today a new series, and I am calling 1 to Endgame. More or less the idea is that I am going to take a character from level 1 and try to get them to finish the hardest content in the game. Today we are going to start with World of Warcraft Retail, so we are in Battle for Azeroth. We're going to go ahead and take a Hunter from level 1 and hopefully get them all the way to finish Mythic Ny'alotha before the Shadowlands expansion. So we have about roughly 3 months or so to get this done. I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know if I'm going to be able to complete it, but I figured it's a fun challenge. I have also never done Mythic raids in BFA. I barely have done Mythic plus dungeons. So this will be a interesting challenge to get the character to 120, which is easy. It won't take that long. And then from there, gear them up to be able to do normals into heroics, into mythics, and then same for the raids. So we're going to go ahead and get started on this hunter here.
The past few years have seen unprecedented changes within the eternal land of Quel'Thalas. The Blood Elves, following the will of their crazed leader Kael'thas Sunstrider, channeled dangerous, chaotic magics to transform their sacred Sunwell into a gateway of unspeakable evil. While Kael'thas and his demonic masters were eventually defeated, a different kind of transformation occurred within the Sunwell itself, as a dying Naru sacrificed its life essence to reignite the Sunwell into a fount of holy energy. Now, the Blood Elf regent Lorthamar Theron sees a new hope on the horizon for his people. Over time, the Sunwell's light could cure the Blood Elves of their cursed state, but many still cling to the arcane powers they've procured and are hesitant to relinquish them. As one of the remaining Blood Elves, you must fight to protect Quel'Thalas and help redeem the soul of your ancient people.
What business have you? We will have justice.
Alright, so we are in-game here, so I'm just setting up some things. Obviously, as you can tell, the video is sped up because no one wants to sit here and watch me level for, an hour of time that it takes on this actual episode. So, as you can tell, we're starting as a Blood Elf. We have a bunch of heirlooms, so we're just going to go ahead and get up and running there. We got the first quest here, just going to kill some mana worms, nothing too special here. So as we go through this, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of background on me. If you haven't watched any of my stuff before, and you want to get notifications, feel free to follow and click the bell to get notifications when I go live here on YouTube. And then I stream on Twitch over at twitch.tv/Salviolent. So you can feel free to follow me there. We get a small community so far, trying to build that up. As you can see here, we do have a buff that we're getting 100% extra XP. It's something that Blizzard put in during the whole pandemic and decided to keep into Shadowlands. So we got that going for us, which will help us level up nice and fast. Supposedly the reason why they're keeping it too is because it's supposed to mimic how leveling is going to be in Shadowlands. It's supposed to take roughly the same amount of time getting 1 to 120 as it will getting to 1 to 50 in Shadowlands before entering the new content. So, it's a nice little bonus here. It's going to help us level pretty fast. As you can see, we're already level 4, and, I'll show at the end of the video, I believe, but none of this is taking fast, even at triple speed here. Sorry, none of this is taking too long even at triple speed here. As for my WoW experience, I've been playing WoW since vanilla. I want to say 2005 maybe, not right when it came out, but before the opening of AQ. I was already level 60, so probably started around MC drop, and played since then. My raiding experience in vanilla, I did AQ 40 up until Twin Imps. My guild was never able to down that, and I was also like 13 at the time. Wasn't able to down Twin Imps, and then TBC came out. We played through TBC, did some raids in there. Wrath, we did all of the raids there. Not on heroic difficulty though. And then Kata, we mainly played LFR for raids. I had lost touch with a lot of the guildies that I was with in previous expansions and didn't play as much. Same for Mr. Pandaria, pretty much up until today. Most of my raiding experience has been with LFR, just kind of getting in, seeing the content, and then moving on to something else. I play a whole bunch of MMOs. It's kind of my thing. Right now, it's mainly between Classic WoW, Final Fantasy XIV, and Retail WoW. If you name an MMO, I've probably played it to some degree, so I'm hoping to expand this series out into other aspects in other games that I've played previously. Things like Final Fantasy XIV, maybe doing a 1 to max on that, or just taking a class 1 to endgame, not a whole character, because going through all that story stuff again is kind of rough. It's a lot worse than leveling a character in WoW, which is pretty easy. I want to try some other games like Rift or ESO, things that I haven't played too much that I can kind of go in blind. At least with WoW, I've been playing for so long that I know a lot of this stuff. My pathing here on this starting zone isn't the best. I kill myself here instead of landing in the water, which is also really unfortunate because I was 1 kill away from getting... Oh no, I was a little bit further. I was 2 levels away from getting disengage, which would allow me to just launch myself backwards, which works kind of like the warrior leap as well as blink or really any movement ability. If you use it as you're falling, it kind of resets the distance that you're falling at, so you can take less fall damage, or most of the time 0 fall damage if you do it at the right time. So I definitely did not have that in the right place there, and killed myself. So here we are, we're almost done with this first part of the starting zone here. You can see we're already level 8. Typically when leveling through this stuff without this 100% XP buff and without heirlooms, usually you're around level 6 here before you start to get into the next part of the zone. Yeah, with that quest we hit level 9, and we just keep moving on. Nothing too special here. If you know the Blood Elf starting zone, you're going to see a lot of it here. I actually plan to go through and do every single quest in this zone just to see how far we can get while doing minimal dungeon finder on that. I haven't really decided if I'm going to shy away from the dungeon finder or if I'm going to embrace it. It does give a lot of experience and would help us level up fast. But I don't want this series to just be, me sitting in dungeons over and over again when we go through stuff. But I can't deny that it is a good source of experience and would help us level pretty fast, which, given the time constraint we're on trying to do this before Shadowlands, is definitely going to be a bonus. The other thing I'm trying to decide still is what expansions I want to level through. So I actually think I'm going to do a poll here, and I'll put it in the description down below, of deciding what expansion I'm going to do. So there's a couple ways that we can do it. There's the Burning Crusade, there's Wrath of the Lich King, and then there's also the fastest method for leveling through the expansions right now is actually to not do the expansion at all, but to instead use level sync while you have a level 1 character in your party and you level sync down to it at 60, and you get to just do quests that you've already done before. It's a way to allow you to play with friends and everything, so you can stay with them and level with them. So I'm probably going to do that. Well, I'll let the poll decide whether or not I'm going to do that. That is definitely the fastest way to level, and I haven't done it before, so it's kind of interesting. So we'll see if that gets selected, and we'll see what we want to do for that. Still just going through here. I like to pull a lot of mobs as best as I can, although Hunter, realizing at this level, has no AoE capabilities. The pet definitely does help. It is pretty fast at killing. I think his kill command is a pretty good ability. And I realize even later on, you'll see once we get multi-shot, it's just not what multi-shot used to be in Classic. And I have a Hunter in Classic right now, so getting used to the differences between those two things is kind of, I shouldn't say off-putting, but I think things do one thing and they do another. So it's just a different game. Different abilities. Well, same abilities, they just do different things. But we get used to that and it's not a big deal. As for Classic stuff, I do stream Classic. I play Classic. I'm working on leveling a mage right now, doing some ZF solo farms. I do stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. And I'm going to start streaming our guild's progression through AQ40 as our gates are set to open on this coming Tuesday. We're going to get in there and start progressing through that. So if you're interested in watching that, our raids start around 7 p.m. So 7 p.m. Eastern, probably until 11 p.m. Eastern, I'll be streaming those as we progress through AQ40 and we try to take down Cthulhu, or Cthulhu as I like to call him. So you'll hear me say that over and over again. Never really got used to the apostrophe there, not splitting up the letters, and it's supposed to just be one whole word, but I've been calling him Cthulhu since I was 13, so that's not going to change. Sorry if that bugs anyone, but you'll get used to it. Yeah, so as you can see here, we're already level 11. It's probably been 20 minutes to a half hour at this point, maybe. Already hitting level 11, which is pretty good. If I knew these zones better, it could have been a lot faster. Also, I think there's probably, optimal starting zones that we could have moved to or chose a different race, but we're not going just for speed here. Obviously, this is, still fun for me to level through these. I haven't done this zone in probably 10 years, if not more, especially where I mainly play Alliance, that I would have no reason to really come through here. So it's been fun going through this again. I know some of the quests from BC and from playing on a BC private server a while back, but my routing and pathing is definitely not optimal for leveling through here. See, we just got a bunch of, hunter pet specific abilities. We just hit 13, and we are leveling as Beastmaster. It is the best hunter spec right now by far in the game. So I'm going to stick with it, level through it. Usually I play Marksman as a hunter, and I kind of have been playing Marksman since vanilla. So it's going to be a little bit of a change for me getting used to some of the pet stuff. Obviously, I had dabbled in Beastmaster before. It was the best spec in BC. I played it during that, but for the last 10 years or so, I've probably been Marksman for 8 of them when I do play my hunter. Most people have been playing a Paladin these days. That's where the name Savlin came from, actually, is from my Paladin Wrath of the Lich King. And I've been using it ever since then, and kind of reserve it just for the Paladins. I do have a Paladin on this same server where I'm leveling this Hunter, named Savlin, obviously. So mixing it up here, going with Hunter. One of the reasons why we chose Hunter is just kind of it's the meta pick. It's really good for Mythic Plus dungeons. It has some good raid damage for raids, so I'm hoping we can get in there. Could have went tank or a healer and tried to sneak in that way, but having as little knowledge as I do of Mythic fights and Mythic raids, my hope is I can learn some of that stuff on a ranged DPS class where I feel like it's easier than tank or healer, but having not done it, I guess I don't know. Something we'll find out as we go along here. We're just continuing to go ahead and do some quests, nothing too special. I'd like to see down in the comments how many of you think I'll be able to make it into and finish a Mythic Plus dungeon. Or not dungeon, sorry, the raids. So, one thing I do want to point out too is if you play Retail WoW right now and you are in a major city, you'll see a bunch of people selling runs for gold. Obviously, we're not going to do that. That would kind of defeat the whole purpose. I could just hit 120 and then buy WoW tokens to get the gold, or farm the gold myself and be able to pay for something like that. But that's not the plan here. We're not going to do that. I would happily take advice or help from any viewers. Either hit me up on YouTube in the comments, come say hi to me on Twitch when we stream. If you are willing to carry me through some Mythic Plus, teach me some things. I don't know how to do those things very well, so any help there would be appreciated, but I don't want to just be carried through the end game, so I want to actually, feel like I'm useful. I want to try and have item level equivalent of things and be in a group where I actually have to progress and it's not just being carried. But if we make it to that point and we have a guild or a group that's running stuff and I'm bottom damage and we one-shot everything, it happens. We'll find a better way to determine whether or not we completed the challenge here. Maybe we just need to make it into the top 10 damage or top 5 damage or top 2 damage before we count the challenge as completed at that point. But it's something we'll figure out as we play along here. So I'm queuing up for a dungeon here. Usually DPS queues take a while, but these ones are actually pretty short, only about 6 minutes, which, given what I'm used to, is not long at all. You can see me checking out the buffs at the top, seeing what we have for the events right now. It is that XP buff that I mentioned before, as well as a bonus 200 XP bonus 200% XP for leveling battle pets, which I haven't really done before. Maybe we'll have an episode where I play around with some battle pets. I do have battle pets. There's none of them are max level, and I don't really know what the optimal strats are there. So we're just killing some things before we accept this dungeon, trying to get some quest items as we go. We'll go ahead and accept the dungeon. We get RFC. Definitely a dungeon I am familiar with running, and one that I've been running a lot on retail. See me here talking to the team, trying to be nice. We got our healer laughing over there. RFC has definitely changed since Classic and Vanilla. You can see here there's a whole bunch of pats or a bunch of mobs going down this ramp, where in Classic it's just kind of like an empty ramp until you get to the bottom, except for one pat, and then there's mobs on the sides and everything. So we go through here. You can check out the damage meters. I don't think I have this set to current fight at the moment, so it's just the whole of the dungeon here. I'm going to go ahead and look at talents. I think I'm going to go Killer Instinct. 2 reasons. One, I think it's the better talent there. I could be wrong. I have absolutely no idea. I haven't looked at the talents. I haven't looked at a tier listing of the talents. 2, because it's called Killer Instinct, and hey, it's a fighting game. It's a good fighting game, and you'll probably see me play it at some point. So we're just going through the dungeon, killing the first boss. You can see here we fall below the mage in damage overall. One thing I have noticed as I continue to play, and you'll see on the damage meters as we go through, Hunter boss damage is actually ridiculous. Usually I'm at the top there. I haven't checked everyone's gear here. It doesn't really look like a lot of people are using too many earlobes, actually. Looking at them, they don't really seem familiar now that I take a look at this, so maybe being beat out by the mage is even worse than I thought, if they're not in heirlooms than I am. So as we are nearing the end of this video, I just want to do a wrap up. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys watching here. Like I said at the beginning, if you want to stay on top of my content when I put it out, feel free to subscribe here on YouTube. Click the notification to see that I have posted a video. I appreciate any followers on Twitch as well. Follow me on there. We are a affiliate, so you can subscribe there if you want to. No pressure, no need to do that. A follow is great, and just having some people to pop into chat to talk to is even better. So feel free to pop by anytime. We stream Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to start streaming Progression for AQ as that is coming up. Those will be on Tuesday, Thursday from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. So there's going to be a lot of streams there. If you have any advice or tips for this series, just feel free to let me know. I'm happy to listen and talk it out. If you have anything you want to see in the future, feel free to comment below. Let me know if you want to see me go through BC, Wrath, or do the level sync method. I'm going to post a poll here in the description. You can go ahead and vote on that, and that will be live until we get to the point where we need to decide on that. So I'll have it in every video going forward until we decide, and I'll let you guys know what that decision is, and then we'll go ahead and start going through there. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we're going to go ahead and finish out this dungeon here, just killing this last boss. Bringing it down nice and quick. You can see me fighting with the mage there on DPS for overall. We almost clutched it out at the end, but just a little bit behind, 4%. Go ahead and turn all these quests. You'll see this massive amount of XP coming here. I think we actually got 3 levels while we were in here from the dungeon, completing the dungeon and turning the quest. So thank you very much. Thanks for watching.